Hello, guys and girls. Tommy Jordan here. It is 9 o'clock, June 28th, Monday. I just got out of a commissioner's meeting, and I'm posting this on my wall, not my commissioner's page, for a reason. So I got, and I mean no disrespect by this. I'm not sure if the parties, well, I'll just tell you the story. So I just left my Board of Commissioners meeting about 30 minutes ago. It was a long meeting tonight. And I was, during the public comment section, two people stepped up to speak about how much they disliked how I speak about things on Facebook. And I mean, I'll use the examples they used. Said I called people an idiot. I called people dumb. I called people redneck. I think the word he used was inbred redneck, which does sound like a phrase I would use. Just anyway, that on Facebook that Commissioner Jordan calls people stupid, picks on names, and it does not reflect the office of a commissioner. And this is all in regards to, well, the majority of it was in regards to my reactions to somebody posting some hoax-related crap about Antifa coming to Stanley County last week. So now let me rebut and just address all of these for everybody's sake. There are certain jobs in this county, and I just got off the phone with the sheriff. I was talking to Jeff, and there's about 2 or 3 jobs in this county. The sheriff being one of them. I think the district attorney being another, where you're on 24/7. You don't get to clock out from that job. You're on that clock all the time. However, you're paid commensurately with that responsibility. So you're paid to accept the sacrifice. You go into it, and that's just part of the gig. And I've heard people say that when you run for anything, town council, county commissioner, whatever, that you invite the public into your lives 24/7, and you're always under the public eye, and you're now a public figure. And I'm sorry, but, bullshit. I'm sorry, that's just not true. Bullshit. I refuse to accept that. Now, that may mean I'm a one-term commissioner, but in all seriousness, I got my paycheck from the county the other day. It cleared, and the only thing that comes out of my check is my wife's insurance. So after insurance, I get $311 every 2 weeks, which if you divide that, it's $14 a day. I'm $22 a day, which if you factor that in, if I was a McDonald's employee, that would cover my trip to my trip from home to work, 1 hour on the clock, and my trip home. So if I put in exactly as much effort as a McDonald's burger flipper, making a Seattle minimum wage, that's what a commissioner job pays. Now, your argument might be, well, you shouldn't do it for the money. And we don't. I don't. I'm assuming nobody does, because you don't make enough to live on. So no commissioner that I know of, at least in our county, would ever become a commissioner for the money. The extra money is just not worth the headache. Having said that, I say that to say that while we don't do it for the money, I think that also entitles us to live a personal life as well. So, Commissioner Jordan has a Facebook page. And that guy, for the most part, might be blunt, might sometimes be a little over the top. Sometimes he's as Bill Lawhon likes to say, boy, he's passionate. He's passionate. But he's Commissioner Jordan. This guy, the guy you're talking to right now, I'm Tommy. I don't have my badge on, my pin on. I'm not here representing the wonderful county of Stanley or the state of North Carolina or anything more than the fact that I like motorcycles. That's what I'm representing. I like bikes. They're over there. So I'm allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to interact with the general public, be it here or anywhere else. When I go post on Facebook and I call some idiot in Virginia an idiot, well, he's just as much an idiot as if he makes the same stupid post in Stanley County. I'm sorry, but I reserve the right to call people online an idiot. You do it. I do it. We all have the right to do it. I call people in traffic idiot. Boy, if you could hear the things I call people in traffic, and they're almost all voters. But do people hold that against me at election time? I don't know. Brian Talbert, he commented that, I was going to drive off the voters. Well, I'll be honest, that guy didn't vote for me in the first place. I know that for a fact. He was the only person that ever really started a campaign against me in the very beginning because I kicked him out of a group on Facebook, I don't know, 2.5 years ago. I guess he's still mad about that. But that's fine. That's his right. I don't care. To my knowledge, he can't even see my page, so I don't know why it bothers him. I blocked him so he doesn't have to be offended by me. But apparently that's not enough. But now when I call somebody else an idiot, he's mad. So I'll go on to the other lady, whose name I won't use. But she comes up and said, I called her out on Facebook in a group because of the Antifa posting. For those of you who are curious but not from the area, she made a post about, hey, have you heard about the Antifa people coming to Locust? Right about the same time, maybe beknownst to her, maybe unbeknownst to her, two other people in Stanley County are starting to make the same kinds of posts. There are 2 busloads of Antifa protesters, terrorists, coming to the county. And they're building momentum on these posts. I mean, these are posts you intentionally make to drive momentum. It's like you make the post and it gets the wheel rolling, then the right people start commenting. Well, we can't have that in our county. You're dang right we can't. Heck yeah, get your guns. I got my guns. I'll come get you, Billy Bob. Okay, Jethro, let's get the truck. We gonna get some. That's what happens. It literally starts to snowball. And I watch the comments start snowballing, people getting more and more and more agitated. Now, in reality, I forget what day it was, but whatever day it was this last weekend, I think it was, I'd hit my limit. I'd hit my limit of dumb shit I could take. I was burnt out. I've been dealing with dumb shit all week. And then this dumb crap jumps on Facebook. And when you post something like that on your own wall, fine. I got no complaints. Not for the most part. You post stuff on your own wall, no big deal. But when you go into a local news page, news group on Facebook, a place where a lot of older people are, a place where a lot of people who aren't always that well informed are, and who believe news comes from Facebook, they read stuff like that and they start panicking. And then they start calling people like me. They start calling the police. They start calling the sheriff. They start calling their elected officials. They start freaking out and locking their kids up. And so what's happening throughout this post? So let me tell you how far it got. And again, she doesn't know that I've talked to a police chief. She has no idea, and I didn't have time to tell her, nor was I going to. But I made a post, something along the lines of, this is some fear-mongering BS. You need to take this post down. It's a hoax. It's fake news. It's not real. Get rid of it. And I asked the admin in the news group to remove the post. No offense to the lady, I just didn't have time to deal with her bullshit that day. Didn't have the energy to want to sit and have a complicated conversation with her about why it was fake. I told her it was fake. She didn't believe me. Her response was, I talked to the sheriff, see? And she posted a screenshot of her conversation with the sheriff going, hey, sheriff, here's what's happening. And the sheriff said, I've heard about it. I know. We're looking into it. That was it. I think, in my humble opinion, she read that as, it's real. The sheriff is involved. Holy crap, this is something to worry about. Again, this is where maybe I know what she doesn't. And in this case, I did, because I'd called the sheriff. I also called the chief of police in the town where the other two boys were posting this stuff. And I said, Chief, what the hell? I noticed these guys posting this terrorist crap about Antifa coming to town, are in your town. And I said their name, and he said, yeah, I know them. Okay, what's going on? He had talked to one of them, said, hey, if this is a legit thing, you need to say something and tell me where you heard it from. Blah, blah, blah. He said. Point is, it was a hoax. It was full of crap. And everybody knew it was full of crap. But nobody took the post down. So now we got back to the post in the news group. Same kind of momentum. People going, oh my gosh, is this real? Oh my gosh, is this going to happen? Little old lady's getting concerned about her kid. My daughter works at that Walmart. Oh my God, she's not going to be safe. So somebody had said now, to clarify, the story had stretched to, Antifa was going to show up with 2 busloads of people and either attack the Locust City Town Hall or the Locust Walmart. One lady, I don't know her name. I mean, I do know her name, but again, I won't say it here. I know her name. I don't know her. But I remember, in fact, I screenshot the post. Commented that she made a comment along the lines of, "Oh my God, it's real. The buses are here, or they're here." I can't remember how she said it. Like, they're here now. I see it. Again, that's the kind of post that's inciting locals. It has no purpose. There's no purpose to make that post except to incite locals to get in their redneck pickup trucks, grab their AR-15s and their battle rattle, grab Old Glory, and let's go help the police. And I talked to one of these guys later that, called me or he Facebook threatened me on, he keyboard threatened me on Facebook, telling me I better keep his MFing name out of my MFing mouth, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, I wasn't going to call you out, but since you're going to bother to bring it up and start it, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're an idiot and you made up a bunch of shit. And I said, you really think the police are helped by your going on there and ramping up local people? And his answer was, yeah, they know we got their back. The cops know we got their back, man. They appreciate us. Let me be clear. No law enforcement officer appreciates any of you that think you're law enforcement officers but don't actually have a badge. No one appreciates you grabbing your gun, your pickup truck, and going to help the cops at the police station or the Walmart. That's not a fun situation. You're never going to be a help in that situation. You're going to be a hindrance. And it's also against the law for you to be there and do that. But whatever. So yeah, this is all going on simultaneously. All this posting and crap is going on. Meanwhile, again, I've talked to our sheriff. I talked to Jeff Crisco. He's required by law when somebody messages him and says, "Oh my God, there's 2 busloads of terrorists coming." He's required to go, okay. He's not allowed to say, "Oh my God, you idiot." No, it's not. He's not allowed to go, "Is this the same busload the other lady called me about, or is this another 2 busloads? Are there 4 busloads coming or 2 busloads coming? Are they Black Lives Matter? Or are they Antifa? Or is it a Smurf convention?" Because I heard Smurf convention. He can't do any of that. He just has to go, "Yes, ma'am, we're going to look into it. Thank you very much." And then he has to act on it. He can't not act on it. So what does our sheriff do? He takes an entire squad of SWAT guys, 12 men, or 12 deputies, I assume men. They could be one. You back up. He takes 12 SWAT deputies, a whole squad, and 8 command staff, 20 people out of the sheriff's department, get in their cars and roll up with all their gear down to Locust Town Hall. They chose the stage right there. They get there about 6 o'clock doing this. Because Antifa's coming. Don't know when. We could have known when if we'd asked the guys that said they seemed to know every damn thing, but they didn't have an answer. Well, who told you? I can't tell you that. Just a buddy. Just a buddy of mine. I know, can't keep telling you all that. Got to keep my sources secret. Okay. Well, thanks. Because you cost the county a lot of money in overtime, a lot of money in wasted personnel and headache. I'm sure the 8 command staff and 12 officers loved sitting at Locust Town Hall till 11 p.m. that night when Sheriff Crisco finally said, "Screw it, we're going home." And he called it off. Otherwise, they'd have been sitting there all night. There was people saying that Antifa was going to attack Walmart, that Walmart had gotten threats, and that Locust PD knew about it. And Locust PD had to finally come out on Facebook and say, no, that never happened. I'm telling you, as the law enforcement agency ourselves, it actually did not happen. It's total crap. Then people finally started to believe. So yes, I called some people idiots, fear-mongers. Actually, I called them a whole lot worse than that, just not on Facebook. The things I said around this garage, oh my God, you'd never elect me to be dog catcher if you heard that. Because that's the despicable crap people were doing. It's irresponsible. It is fear-mongering. Had someone showed up and got hurt, it would actually have been illegal. it could have been considered inciting a riot. I know because I asked the sheriff. I was like, this is this far away from being a crime. He said, I know. The problem is it's this far away. It's not a crime yet. Technically, what they did is not a crime. But for those of you who think you were helping law enforcement so much, that's their opinion of it. You were that close to being able to be convicted of a crime for doing that crap. So if you think you got something going on and you think you have the inside scoop on a terrorist plot, maybe you should just call the cops and shut up. That's what you should do. It's not go slamming unsubstantiated crap on Facebook groups like you're the damn Associated Press. You scare the hell out of them. Old people, young people, all kinds of people. That's not responsible. That's not how you do that. You know, most journalists have a certain threshold they have to have for integrity to be sure that what they're reporting is accurate. And if you think you're a keyboard journalist, you should at least have the decency to act like one. And if you don't, then yes, not Commissioner Jordan, but Tommy Jordan, this guy sitting right here, is going to call you an idiot and a whole lot worse. And if you choose to hold that against Commissioner Jordan when the time comes for him to get reelected, so be it. Will not hurt my feelings. If I do not get reelected because I called somebody an asshole or an idiot for acting like an asshole or an idiot, I'm okay with that. I will be sad that I don't get reelected, but I will know that I was exactly the person I said I was going to be when you elected me the first time. But again, Commissioner Jordan didn't say anything. Tommy Jordan did. I didn't go in that group as a commissioner. I didn't post in that group as a commissioner. I posted as me. And I'm entitled to post as me. I'm entitled not to be your commissioner 24 hours a day. For about 8 hours a day, I run an IT business. And for about 6 or 7 hours on the weekends, I'm a landscaper. And if you ask my wife, I'm never a housekeeper. I mean, I should be, but I'm a crappy one of those. Sometimes I'm a dishwasher. Sometimes I'm a cook. There are times where, for bursts, I'm a carpenter. During none of those times am I a commissioner. I reserve the right to take that hat off and sit it down, or that pin off. Truly, I have a little lapel pin. It's Tommy Jordan, County Commissioner. I reserve the right to take that thing off and sit it down and go back to my normal life. Because at $22 a day, you don't get to have my entire life. Now, for $2,200 a day, I guess I'd let you have. I mean, you pretty much at that point deserve that. But $22 a day just doesn't really get you that level of access, and it shouldn't. People should have a right to be themselves and just enjoy being themselves, to let shit blow off, to let steam blow off, and not be held to some stupid, ridiculous standard all the time. Not to mention, I don't know why I said that, not to mention, which means I'm going to, not to mention that I will be honest here. So I'm going to tell a funny story when I finish this. You know what? This will be a long post. You might as well just get yourself a Cheerwine or a Yoo-Hoo and sit down. So, as I was going to say, damn, I forgot what I was going to say before the not to mention part. What was it going to be? I had a thing there about this and that. And oh, yeah. Well, no, that wasn't it. There are some people that are commissioners in this county. And I guess I'll use Bill Lawhon. I hope Mr. Bill will not think I'm disparaging him in any way, because I'm certainly not. He always carries himself like a commissioner. I've never seen Bill in anything less than a suit. Maybe I saw him in a polo and shorts once. Like it's ringing a bell back, but you know what? Probably not. He enjoys, and I think he approaches his job as a commissioner with a strong desire to remain one. He carries himself that way. He doesn't often give you his opinion. until it's time to vote. He doesn't often feel the need to explain why he thinks the way he does. It's not because he's dumb. It's not because he doesn't care. I have learned in my brief time here as the freshman commissioner, it's because he's already been through the bullshit I'm going through now, and he knows to keep his mouth shut. I know there's times he looks at me, because he sits beside me on the desk, and I know there's times he probably sits there, he probably has a checklist, or like a little, scratch pad where he just goes, mark number 27. That's the 27th time Tommy did something stupid that I would have never done. 28th time, check. Because he's learned. I see the look on his face sometimes. He's like, boy, one day you're going to figure it out. Hopefully it's before they fire your ass. But he carries himself like a commissioner all the time. And if you catch him, he's willing to devote his time to you all the time. I am not. And that reminds me of where I was going to go with my previous comment. So, with everything going on, I got my business, my wife's business. We're trying to get through this PPP loan and COVID-19 and the pandemic and rioting and looting and being a county commissioner on top of that, and running a business that has really suffered during started to feel the effects of suffering during the quarantine, although thankfully it was short-lived. I think we're going to pull out of it. Now we're getting swamped. So all of this is weighing on my brain, and I'm human. I'm not superhuman. Might be super good looking, but I'm not superhuman. So all of this is just running around my head, my brain. I am so mentally stressed. I am ready to check the hell out. And then I log into Facebook that day and I see that stupid crap. So yeah, if it was a random, calm Tuesday afternoon, would I have responded that way? Maybe not. If we weren't going through a pandemic and weren't going through looting and rioting, would I respond that way? Maybe not. Two of my best friends are Charlotte Mecklenburg police officers who I have to hear when they come home at night talking about being pepperballed and maced and eating their own tear gas, where people are trying to pick it up and throw it back at them. And, taking pepper balls to the face, because when they fire them, the wind will shift and it blows it back in their faces. So while they're spitting, gagging, and crying, they're still trying to maintain the line. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And then another friend of mine's a police officer in a whole different district. Hell, he caught one of the shooters the other day that caused some crap. He was the guy on scene having to deal with that. So I'm listening to my police friends and just thinking, Jesus, and I'm seeing the effect, the direct effect it takes on them. You have no idea what it's like to watch somebody that is so energetic and loves life and bubbly and smiling from just one day of being in uniform in these riots for 12 hours. The crushing disappointment in humanity that is on her face and in everything about the way she carries herself that day. She's never felt more disillusioned about being a cop than that day when you get spit on and cursed at for 12 hours straight. So when you're posting stupid stuff about fake news bullshit, by the way, about Antifa coming to our county, and that's what I'm seeing in real life, is the effects of what that kind of crap does to people that have to deal with it. And the fact that now my email is blowing up, my phone calls are blowing up, my text messages are blowing up because, oh my God, is Antifa coming? What are you going to do? Yeah, I snapped a little bit. I was a little bit snappy. I was a bit brusque. Do I apologize for that? No. Only because I'd have to be apologizing every day of my life. And I apologize for a lot of crap. But I'm not going to apologize for being human. I'm not going to apologize for calling somebody an idiot. I'm not going to apologize for calling somebody a redneck. Because urging people to jump up and get in their pickup trucks and throw on their AR-15s, I mean going so far as posting pictures of your fucking AR-15 on your Facebook page with your guns going, y'all ready? Yeah, that's some redneck stuff right there. Okay, so yeah, I call it like I see it. I'm sorry, that's all there is to it. Am I going to apologize for that? Absolutely not. I'm not. Nobody going to do it. Would Commissioner Jordan apologize for it? Yes. But Commissioner Jordan would not be up there on that dais talking to you through a microphone or a camera in a public venue wearing his little badge and say that stuff. He would be professional for the most part and try to do his job the way he is paid to do it and try to do his job the way his conscience thinks he should do it. I, however, when I'm not that guy, don't have those requirements thrust upon me. And I choose not to pick up that mantle all the time. I think anyone that knows me knows I go a long way towards working as hard as I can in terms of overtime to do my job as a commissioner and to do it well. I don't know that now. When I say well, at least I work very hard to research and understand the ramifications of the decisions I'm making. Because as commissioners, we have to make decisions on things we don't always know what we're talking about. So if you ask me to make a question, to make a decision about rezoning something, now I have to go learn a whole bunch of law about rezoning. And then I got to go talk to Bob at the water department and figure out how that, or Dwayne at the water department, and then Bob at planning. And then I got to call a fire marshal to ask about. I mean, there's a ton of things that we may have to learn for a vote. So I try to do my best to earn the $20 a day that we get. And it's not about the money. I could care less about the money. I really could. You could take my commissioner's paycheck and I wouldn't care. I would prefer to keep my insurance. That would be nice. But I really don't care about the paycheck. It's not enough to care about. You do the job because you want to help people. But I also reserve the right to turn the commissioners off. Flip that switch and just be me. And that's a right that I have. It's a right that you have. It's a right everybody has. I mean, you pay your doctor. Your doctor makes $100,000 a year, and I guarantee you, at 4:30, you're not getting him on the phone. I make $311 every 2 weeks, but you can call us at 10 o'clock at night, and I answer the phone almost every time. I've never, to my knowledge, not returned somebody's call. And it's funny, the people that came up to me tonight, or that came up to talk about me tonight in the public comments, never sent me a message on Facebook. Well, one of them couldn't because he's blocked, but never called me, never wrote a letter, never called a county office and asked for me. They just decided they wanted to go, try to publicly embarrass me on the board. And that's okay. Not the first time. Well, it is the first time for me. It probably won't be the last. I have a thick skin. That's fine. I heard from a guy one time, if they're picking on me, they're leaving some other poor bastard alone. And that's the truth. I can take it. So, I don't know. It's just, I want to share some of this. I wanted people to know. I did about 3 videos about this whole Antifa busload thing. I was so mad. I'm glad I didn't post them in. Actually, I did post it long enough to go on YouTube and watch it, and then went, yeah, no, I can't say that. Delete. That was the 3rd video that I took. This will now be the 4th. Guys, we are, so let me just tell this story, because right now I was just going to leave my, 10 million reasons why it's stupid to defund the police post as my last post on Facebook for a week or so and just get off social media. But I've had fun thumping the bunnies. It's like when they pop their heads up, whack. I'm playing whack-a-mole with stupid people, idiots even, on Facebook. Liberal crybabies. Anyway, so let me tell you what it's like to be this stressed out. I have to remember 28 and a half minutes into this is when I tell the story. I just told you about the cop friends of mine that has had a rough few weeks. They've pulled so much overtime. I mean, on the financial side of things, they're happy. Like, these cops right now are making like buy another car kind of money. I mean, they're buying Xboxes, TVs, flat screens, and they don't care because they're making buku overtime money. Anyway, regardless of that, this 12-hour shift working riot gear crap takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on them. And this cop friend of mine had 1 day off. He had one day before he starts a 7-day shift of 12 hours straight, and that's if nothing goes wrong. So he said, I want to go ride tomorrow. I want to take the motorcycle and ride. Another buddy of mine told me about it, and I said, yeah, I'd love to go tomorrow. I'll talk to my wife and see if we got anything to do. She said, honey, I have to work on Sunday. I got paperwork to do. Go have fun with the boys. Thank you so much, dear. I love you. I'll do that. So we get up, and they come over to my house. We decide, well, where you want to go? I said, guys, so burnt. I am so mentally just burned out from everything that's going on. I don't care. I want to get on my motorcycle, put my earphones on with a little bit of country music, and I want to hear the sound of those pipes, and I don't want to think. I don't want to think about protest. I don't want to think about work. I don't want to think about anything in my life right now that sucks or why. In this world, I just want to get on the road. Now, I live in North Carolina. For those of you that don't know this, I live not to. I grew up in Manio, well, close to Manio, which so I saw Andy Griffith all my life, and this is going to make sense in a minute when I tell you this. I knew Andy Griffith. He sang in the choir with my granddaddy at church, my grandmama. He started our high school band. He donated the first money that began our school band. And I used to fix keys to his cars and his front screen doors all the time when I worked at Ace Hardware growing up because he lived down in the street. So I knew Andy Griffith well. I didn't know the Andy Griffith show part of him. I just knew Mr. Griffith. He used to eat breakfast at San Manuel his every day of his life when he was there. Anyway, the boys said, "You know where I'd like to go? Mayberry." I said, "Mayberry?" He said, "Yeah, Mount Airy. That's where it was filmed." I said, "Well, I knew that, but how far is that?" He said, "About 100 miles." I thought, that's a nice ride. That's a 100-mile ride. I'm just going to get in the back. I'll be in the rear with the gear and just cruise. I said, "Sign me up. I'm good." "You sure? Let's go to Mayberry." What the hell? I mean, it's Mayberry. Now, if you're from here, it's kind of a running joke. It's like you may use that as an analogy someday for a place where things can't possibly go bad. It's like, what do you think you're in, Mayberry? Like where things just never go wrong. So we're going to Mayberry. Aunt B, Barney Fife, Andy Griffith, we're going to Mayberry, North Carolina. Literally in my mind, I have woosawed and checked out. It is going to be just a wonderful day in Mayberry. We're going to go hit the Andy Griffith Museum and the Aunt B Museum and buy my wife something from the gift shop, and that's what we're going to do. So we do this whole drive. We get there, 2.5 hours later. We can't go to Snappy's lunch because he was closed, unfortunately. But we went to Little Richard's Barbecue, came back into town about 2:25 or so. The store's closing at 3 o'clock. That we wanted to hit. So we do some shopping. I buy a souvenir for my neighbors, Butch and Pat. I buy some candy my fat button didn't need, and walk across the street to a consignment store. Beard loves consignment stores. They're like candy to him. They just suck him in. So we had to go hit the consignment store. While I'm me. I'm there in a American flag grunt style shirt, blue jeans, cowboy boots, with my pistol on my hip. And the wonderful, nice cashier lady looked at me and kind of looked at my gun, looked at me, looked at my gun. And I know I can be a physically imposing figure, especially when I get off a motorcycle. You might think I look like a biker. I don't think I do, but I can see where somebody would think I did when I get off and lose the gloves and the vest and the jacket. So I try to go overboard and be nice to people when I'm out like that. I'm about 6'4" in cowboy boots. I don't want to be an imposing figure. I want to smile and have a good day. So I was very nice. "Hey, ma'am, how you doing? Thank you so much for ringing me up." I just talk to people. And I guess, thankfully, she felt like I was non-threatening enough that she looked at me and she said, "The protests are going to start in about 10 minutes. I said, "What?" "Yeah." "What protest?" "BLM protest." "In Mayberry?" Yeah. "How many are we talking?" She's like, "Oh, there were like 30 to 50 yesterday." "Okay. Wow. Okay." Now, one of my friends is a cop who's had to work protest. He's standing 10 feet from me. He is not going to want to be here for a protest. I'm wearing a gun on my hip, which technically is not against the law in an area of protest. But there's a very fine line between what is a protest and what becomes a riot. And the fine line is the moment the first person does something stupid they shouldn't do and the cop decides it's a riot. So the place I never want to be, on a motorcycle with a biker vest on and a gun, is a riot. Or in this case, a protest. So we kind of cracked a joke and went, "Hey, it's time to go." And the lady said, "It starts at 3 o'clock. And I'm looking at my watch, it's 3:52. I'm sorry, it's 2:52. And I said, "Peace, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for letting me know. I got to go." And we split. Go outside. I'd sent Amanda back in the store. She saw a shirt that my wife, I thought would like. She thought my wife would like. I said, take a picture of it and see if Amy likes it. She did. My wife said yes. I said, take my debit card if you don't mind, because I had my hands full of stuff. If you don't mind, will you go back and buy it? Because she hadn't bought anything. She said, sure. So I leave the store. Now picture this. I walk out of the store. Me and Barry and Beard are like, there's a riot coming. A protest coming. We got to go. I turn. I thought we had 10 minutes left. I turn. I walk 20 feet to the end of the block. Here comes a patrol SUV, a Ford Explorer. Boop, boop. Oh, crap. And he blocks off the side street. And that's when it started to occur to me, police are taking this seriously. This is not like a small protest. They know something I don't know, because they're blocking off side streets in Mayberry. Now, if it was Charlotte, I would expect that. This is Mayberry. You know, what are 30 people going to need blocked off streets for? It was fairly peaceful yesterday. So what do we need to have cops in full gear blocking off streets? Again, in Mayberry. It's like in the Smurf village. It's Mayberry. Nothing happens here. So I literally can't get my mind around the juxtaposition of this happening in Mayberry. So and again, I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm wearing a firearm. I turned so the officer could see my right side as I approached, and I was like, I waited. I said, hey, and he rolled the window down. I said, you're blocking off streets for the protest, right? He said, yeah. He said, yes, sir. He took in my gun pretty quick. I said, we're going, there's 3 motorcycles right there. And I was about 50 to 100 feet away. And I said, that's our three bikes. We just want to leave. We don't want to be here in the middle of a protest, you know. And he said, you better go, now. Okay. So we start. Now, all I have to do is zip my present that I bought my neighbor in the bag, put on my helmet that's sitting on the seat, put on my goggles, put on my gloves, put my key in the ignition. The whole process might take me 20 seconds. He was so intent on me leaving that wasn't long enough. He yells at us across the road. He's like, hey, you guys. I said, you got to go. If you want to go, you got to go now. I'm like, what? He says, look. And as I look to my left past the motorcycle, holy crap, there's not 30 of them. There's like 300. 200. That was my guess then. And there's a patrol car in front of the protest with his lights on, no siren, just kind of guiding the process along. They were just starting out. They'd been staging, apparently not 100 feet from us. Now, we'd heard them as we walked to our bikes, but we didn't see them. So again, we just wanted a calm day. So we went to the calmest place in the world. We went to see Aunt B and Barney and Opie and Andy in Mayberry. And here we are. This is the protest starting. So he's like, you guys got to go now. Remember, Amanda's still in the store a block up the street. She doesn't know where we're at. She expects to come out and find us standing on the sidewalk going, hey, and prepare to walk. She has no clue any of this has happened yet. I'm riding her on the back of my bike. So Beard jumps on his bike, Barry jumps on his bike. Boom. They would not pull out because they didn't leave me, but they fired up and got in the road. I jump on mine, and I take off up the street, and I go like zooming up to the wrong lane, by the way, in front of the consignment shop. So I'm trying to remember the word. So I tear up the block in front of these cops, going up the wrong lane, slam on the brakes, and I don't know what to do. I yell because the cop is yelling at us. I'm like, Amanda. And I hear, what? She's just coming out the door. Oh, thank God. I'm like, jump on. What do you mean? I mean, jump the hell on. We got to go. I don't know. I got to put my girl, if you don't get on this bike. So okay, fine. She jumps on the motorcycle, jams her stuff between me and her, can't get her helmet on, ain't got no goggles, don't care. We got to go. Pull out down the street. We didn't get 100 feet, 200 feet, and now I look behind me. I glance back. Beard is behind me. I was carrying his wife, so he was not going to leave her behind. He's not. The protesters are 20 feet off his bumper. The cops really should have stopped us at this point and made us stay. But the cop told us, he said, if you don't get out, you're stuck here till at least 5, minimum. It may be longer than that, depending on how the protest goes. We got to go. So we're tearing down Main Street. 3 motorcycles. There's 3 bikers fleeing a BLM protest. I hope to God there's a video of this somewhere. There's bound to be a picture of it somewhere of 3 of us going hell for leather down Main Street in Mayberry, evading a BLM protest. So and there's cops blocking off the street. So one of my friends who is a cop, he's like, screw it. He just bears left, shoots off down the side street. We don't care. We just followed him. We still don't have our helmets on right. We don't have our glasses on, nothing. We just pulled over in the middle of a street, stopped, turned our bikes off, got off, finished getting dressed now, and then we left Mayberry. So on the day that I had finally expected to get some peace and quiet and time to reflect and time to really get all of this out of my mind, that's what happened in Mayberry, North Carolina. And I looked later on YouTube. I Googled like BLM protest Mayberry. Mount Airy, NC. And there is a lady recording right at the beginning, and it says protest walkers or whatever, just beginning to leave staging. She's really standing right there. And if you hear her cell phone camera, you can hear you hear the motorcycle in the background. So I don't know if there's a video or not, but I say all that to say, one, it's funny as hell because I went to Mayberry and got caught in a BLM protest. I can't tell you how funny that would have not been, But we're riding home that night, yesterday, and Beard likes to take back roads, and so we commented about he hates to ride on the interstate, and he said, "Well, we need to get through Winston-Salem before protests start." And I remember I said, "We're going to take the interstate past that point. They're not going to block the interstate. They're not going to sit and block 8 lanes." I got home 3 hours later. We're sitting here Googling stuff on the news, and I see where in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I just drove through, I just choose to come home a different route. Protesters blocked I-40. Totally locked down the whole highway. So we would have got caught had we come home the other way by another protest blocking our way home. So there's some stupid stuff going on right now. And I am probably more mentally stressed than at any other time in my recent life. And I do try to be cognizant of the fact that makes my nerves more prone to fraying, makes my temper more prone to being let out, being shorter. I get mad easier. And I'm human. I'm not apologizing for any of that. I'm just explaining why it happens. Because it's happening to everybody. The best thing that we can do is be aware of it. All of us. Be cognizant of what we're going through as people. Be cognizant of what we individuals are feeling. And know that everything is amped up right now. Everything is trigger sensitive. Everything is just, it's right there. One stiff breeze and it can just blow you completely out of whack right now. The whole nation feels that way. So yeah, I insulted some people on Facebook for posting stupid stuff. That's what was going on in my head when that happened. I'm just not going to apologize for it. There's too much going on for me to worry about 2 people's hurt feelings. I simply don't care that much. I do care enough because I feel like one of the 2 of them is probably going to go home and make their own Facebook video, but I do care enough to let them and because I did tell them that I would, told her that I would be glad to respond offline, talk about it. I got a feeling that we're not going to come to a meeting of the minds on it, but now you know my take on it. I don't mind calling out stupid for what it is. And being irresponsible and posting stuff like that, I think was stupid. That's just me. I'm one person. That's it. It's been a hell of a week, man. Hope I've earned my $22 today. Y'all be good. This is Tommy Jordan. I'm out.